Okay, we're going to cook my granny's apple pie. Hopefully you've got your apples just peeled and chopped up and cored, not gone too brown yet, so we better get them in the pan. So just straight into the pan, and then with your lemon, we just need to squeeze lemon juice all over them. And this will help stop them go brown. Fish out a pit that's just gone in. And the other half of lemon as well. We'll just give that just a little toss together just to try and get them coated in the lemon juice. There we go. And we can turn the heat on now. So nice full power. And then with your water, we just want enough water just to almost cover them, but not quite. Just, if you can have a look at this, that's the amount of water you need. It was about 300 millilitres. Okay, and that will mix with the apples and the juice from the apples, and that will sort of create a really, really nice, effectively like a sauce when we thicken it up later. And next we just need to add the sugar. So it's just 2 heaped dessert spoons of sugar. There we go. And we'll just give it a little stir together. And we can let this come up to the boil and boil away nicely. We don't need to do anything to it whilst we go and start making the pastry. So if you take what's left of your water over to the work surface, we'll get on. Right, pastry's really easy to make actually. So all you need to do, a little cheats tip, if you can't, so we're going to use the sieve in a little while to strain off the apples. I only have 1 sieve, so it's more important to use for that than to sieve the flour. So a good little cheats tip is just with a little hand whisk, just whisk up the flour in a bowl first. It won't get any air into it really, but it'll stop having big lumps in the flour. So just give it a good little whisk up, and then we can pop that straight into our food processor. Just move it out. There we go. And then straight in with the butter as well. Now we're going to give this a blend together, and then we're going to add some water. We'll start off with 2 tablespoons of water, but you might need to add a little bit more, but I'll show you as we go on. So we're just going to blend this so it'll become like a fine breadcrumb. Okay, so at this stage we just need to start adding the water, and normally you'd add this whilst it's running, but obviously you won't be able to hear me over the noise of the machine. So we'll add 2 in and then just give it another blitz. What we're trying to do with the water is just form it together into a big blob, so it's just slightly sticky. So pop it back on and give it another whiz. And if you look at mine, hopefully yours should look the same. Okay, mine's still quite crumbly, so I'm going to add in another tablespoon of water. And you'll see, because you'll probably hear your machine start trying to work a lot harder, and it should form a blob. It will, trust me. Okay, hopefully yours is looking something like this. It's all come together in like a big sticky blob. So all you need to do is just drop a little bit of flour onto your work surface. Just a little bit of flour onto your work surface, and then empty out the contents of your food processor. Just, oops, tip it up. And then all you need to do is just form it into a ball with your hands. So just a nice tight compact ball with your hands. And then pop it in, hopefully you've got a food bag handy. And then just pop it into the food bag and wrap it up nice and tightly. Like that. And then just pop that in the fridge whilst we go and deal with the apples. The reason why we put the dough in the fridge is because you've just blitzed the flour absolutely massively, and what it needs to do now is all the glutens in the flour just need to relax and come together. So if you were to try and roll it out now, it would just break up and be all crumbly. So by leaving it to rest, probably for about 20 minutes, although it'll be a little bit longer because of the apples, just means when you come to roll it out, it'll be absolutely perfect. So let's have a little look at the apples now. They've more or less turned to mush, which is what we want. So you can turn the heat off. And now we just want to drain them through a sieve into a bowl. Because we're going to thicken the juice with some corn flour and pop it all back together. There we go. All the juice. Right, and now with your other saucepan, the one that's slightly smaller, we're just going to pop the juice back into the pan and turn the heat back on high. So we're going to thicken this up. Okay, to do this we just need to take 2 heaped tablespoons of corn flour. Pop it into the mug that you've got ready, and then with your water, you should still have a little bit of water left. You just need a little bit of water into the mug, so probably about 2 tablespoons of water again into the mug, and then just mix it together, so it should form a paste. Just mix it all together. We may need to add a little bit more, but that's fine. It's better to start off, you can't take any out. So once you've mixed it all together, we're going to pop that in with the juice from the apples. So if you've got your spoon that you were using to stir it, just start stirring and pour in the corn flour. And instantly you can see that it's thickened. And just got a little bit more left in. There we go. Just keep stirring, it thickens. Okay, so we can turn the heat off now. And using the metal bowl that we drained everything into, just going to tip the apples back into the metal bowl, and then pour in the now thickened juice. Okay, now you just want to gently fold together the apples and the thickened juice. Go. So hopefully yours is looking something like this, just a big, thick, appley mess. And what we want to do now is we want to get this cooled down because we can't put it into a pastry tin hot. So a way that I do this is to just fill up the sink sort of half full with cold water and just sit this in the water, and then every 5 minutes or so just give it a stir. Just helps cool it down. If you can't be bothered to do that, it'll just take longer and that's absolutely fine. But when you come back, have your oven preheated, all the other ingredients ready, and when this is cold.